Okay, so what we did in the final section of that last module is we actually picked out those 3 applications. Now, the 3 applications are a great starting point. Now, you may have ranked them already, you may have a favourite amongst them, but what I first want you to do is correlate them against your needs document. See which one matches the most to your long-term needs. Does the features match up to where you will be in 3 or 4 years? This will be helpful for the long-term sustainability of you and your application. If you're struggling, and all of these applications will meet the basic needs that you have, for example, calendar is very specific. For example, you have got TickTick on there, Things 3, and maybe Trello as your to-do list applications, then pick which one you believe is your favorite. I wouldn't get too worried about that selection. Now, during these 90 days, you have some very specific rules to follow. Now, the first rule is you cannot switch. Even if you get to day 36 and it's detrimental to your productivity, then move back to paper. But you must continue that 90-day period. And the main reason we introduced this 90-day, you must do that full 90 days, is because it stops you from breaking a habit and it makes you make a better informed decision. So for example, let's say you picked Things 3 from that list and 45 days in you went, ouch, I can't do this anymore. Then you should be thinking about this rule before you start. You need to be solid. This will reinforce some of your research. You need to make sure that you use this tool for the next 90 days, guaranteed. So that's one of the really fundamental rules so that you improve your decision making before you start that 90-day period. And if you look at your tools and goes, I can't use that for 90 days, then you should be re-reviewing your initial research because clearly it doesn't meet your needs, your features, or your budget. Now, the second rule is to follow a timeline. Now, during this period of time, I want you to write a roughly relative weekly diary on this. Now, guys, it's not going to be full entries, do not worry. We're not going to make you share your deep feelings about these applications, but we are going to give you a timeline below of some key dates during those 90 days where you can share a short update on how you're getting on with the application. Now, this is really valuable because throughout your 90 days, you're actually going to be testing the application, you're going to be building it, you're going to be using it for day-to-day to-do lists, and that's really, really important. So why do this? Why do this activity? Because, for example, if you get to your 90-day period and say, you know what, I didn't get through it, I didn't feel comfortable with this application, I may begin with the second application. You can stop yourself there, you can look at your timeline, you can look at the feedback you gave yourself, and the things maybe you didn't like about the application during that period of time. Say, day 15, I was struggling with the calendar function. I found it very tricky to use, and I didn't quite like the visual aesthetic of it, or something like this. Or maybe day 27, I found it very hard to be able to capture stuff using the Chrome browser. I'm on the Chrome browser all the time, and it's really important for me to have something that works with that. Then what you can do at the end of the 90-day period is look at all this feedback, almost like a report, and say to yourself, when you go back to the process of choosing the next two, you can either choose the next two because they meet your needs, or go back to the research process and say, you know, I really struggled here. These are the issues that I was having, and these may be my potential needs for the next time that I do the research. So you can actually go back in this course and almost start again with some of this feedback. It's really important that you do that because you've only wasted 90 days. You haven't necessarily wasted like a year or 2 years or a longer period of time. So if you've managed to pick an application after the 90 days and you are really happy with it, that is great news. Now, what we're going to actually be doing in the next section is looking at migration. You may already be with an existing application and you might now want to fully move over and commit to it. Now, that's an important part of the process. it's the next section, and I think it will be really valuable. But I do really push to you guys, if you found that you had too many problems with that applications during that period of time, go back to your next 2 shortlisted to-do list applications, or if it's really detrimental in terms of, for example, you found a huge issue with it, then it's really important to go back to the first part of the process and start the research again and really drill down into what's important for you. Maybe you got your quadrant breakdown wrong. Maybe you didn't do your research in an effective manner, but it's really important to understand that before you continue to make bad decisions on to-do list applications and waste more time. Anyway guys, I really look forward to you joining us in the next section. We're going to be diving into the migration process. So see you in a second.